welcome back to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And we're going to be talking about the best British foods according to social media. Well, our social media followers.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
I feel like we've talked about the best British foods before.
Yeah.
But this is a little bit of a different spin, a little bit of a
different spin.
And you guys seem to love it when we talk about food.
Food. It's very popular.
It's a really
People
popular
eat it all the
topic.
time.
Yeah, you do need it to survive.
Yes, you do need it to survive, especially British food. Because it is the best.
Oh.
Yes? Yes or no? Yes.
But yeah, so we put it out on our, I think everywhere.
Everywhere.
Twitter,
Facebook.
Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't follow us there, be sure that you are following us over there. It's at TButty, TEABUTTY on all of the social media sites.
Yeah. Because I was looking up a little bit of like extra material for this, and I thought, I wanted to see what the polls had said, because we had a load of responses and everything, but
like official.
An official YouGov poll. According to the official YouGov poll.
Hang on, before you continue, explain what YouGov even is, because you get those.
It's a survey.
You get those surveys emailed to you all the time.
It's just a survey of people.
It's so strange.
Our survey said, and it's like I got one the other day. It was something about chocolate. It was like for the best. Would you eat chocolate? Something I can't remember what it was now.
Do you participate? You don't participate?
Yeah, I did the survey. Yeah, it was only like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
it was something about chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only one I've had in a while actually.
And it's like u.gov, right?
No, it's YouGov.gov.
I mean, it's is it? I thought it was you.gov.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. It's YouGov anyway.
But it's
a survey.
But it's like it's an official thing, right?
It's an official thing. It's like it's like data collected by the government, by the British government.
Because over here you get
like the National Food Survey and everything, that we're doing for a while.
Yeah. Like over here you see, you might hear on the news or something, a survey done by USA Today or done by I don't know, People Magazine, or I don't know, I'm just pulling names out of a hat, but it's never, I don't think anything like that exists in this country, not that I can think of.
A government survey? I don't care what you're doing.
I don't know.
I don't want the government knowing what I'm up to. Maybe,
that might be a thing.
That's probably
I don't know,
a thing.
You guys let me know if anything like that exists over here. I'm having like I'm blanking right now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked it up, but YouGov, it's like an entity. It's like a body that's doing online research.
They've been doing this stuff in Britain for years, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many of you have seen these, Dominic and I call them, like, living history, like, programs. I don't even, you can't really call them a documentary, but it's sort of a documentary in a way, I guess. Where they'll use these old polls that they've done on the British people from, like, the 40s.
The 40s,
I think it's about as early as it goes.
Early as it goes, yeah, the 30s maybe.
And they'll have been polling the British public since like the 40s, and I think it's just a selection of the public. I don't think it's not required.
Someone went round to their house back in the 30s
like
and said, would you like to participate in a survey we are doing for the government?
Yeah.
And it's called National Food Survey.
Why are you doing it? Would you like to participate
Well, that's how they would have
survey?
And he would have had a bowler hat. and he would have been invited in for a cup of tea and a biscuit. And it's like, okay, you just write down...
What did you eat for breakfast?
What did you eat for breakfast? What did you eat for lunch? What did you eat for your evening meal?
Yeah.
And any snacks.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week for like a month or 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
In this year. And then they just put it all together and then,
It's very interesting. I mean, it kind of seems like why do that? But I mean...
But it was like the eating habits of the country from over a span of 50 years.
And it's very interesting. I mean,
I
find stuff like that really interesting to look back on. I'm sort of like a history kind of nut. But
and they based a whole reality documentary series about it back in time for dinner.
Yeah. And so what they would do is pick a family. This is so off topic, but
well, no, it's not, because we're talking about the best British food, and so this is food.
They would pick a family to like recreate these menus that they found from 50 years ago or 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and each week they would change like decades. So okay, this week we're going to be eating based on this family in Liverpool, from the 40s. We're gonna eat exactly everything they ate for a week,
And they had like, I don't know, something.
Well, they were on rations first of all.
Rations, so it'd be like one piece of bacon.
I thought you were gonna say 1 pea.
One piece of bacon.
It's just 1 pea per person.
And everything was like, fried in lard or whatever. That was,
What is it like? It was bringing to mind the Mickey's Christmas Carol, where they have only like a slice of meat and 1 pea to share amongst them.
That was pretty much what it was on the ration.
Slice it really thin and put it on everybody's plate, But yeah, so they do that for like a week, and then the next week would be the 50s, and they do, we're gonna eat now like this family in Gloucester, for 8 every day in the 50s.
And like when they come off rationing and all that kind of stuff.
And of course they decorate the house or the dining room and kitchen, at least.
Period clothing and everything.
Yeah. So it was just very interesting, and I like that the idea that still exists, and that you participate in that. Like, what's your favorite chocolate? Like, I don't know, it just seems so like insignificant. So like, who cares about this? Why
this kind of chocolate? And what? That was it.
It just seems so like, why would anybody take the time to fill this out, to give the government this information? Why do they need to know? But it's just like,
to document for posterity.
And that's literally it. And so they'll come out with these polls. They'll come out with the results of these polls. The country's favorite like
biscuit. We did that. The top tier, god tier foods and everything.
Yeah, and that was what that was based on, the YouGov poll. I think it's u.gov. I think it's you.gov.
I mean, you can look it up. You can Google it and But you'll find it.
Anyway, back to the point.
Anyway, talking about the YouGov poll is like, they did a poll about the most popular British food, and it was Yorkshire pudding.
Oh.
And in our one, that was the most popular response too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, people were talking about Yorkshire pudding all the time. Like Sunday roast and Yorkshire, and then they said the Yorkshire pudding won the gold medal, followed by the Sunday roast.
This is in the YouGov.
Yeah, and then fish and chips was third.
I will say Yorkshire puddings are so good. I mean, I think we
need to make them again.
I think I've told this story on this podcast before, that I had no idea what a Yorkshire pudding was the first time I went to Britain.
You thought it was a pudding.
And so, I thought it was some
a pot of pudding. I thought it was
I thought it was going to be some kind of absolutely delicious dessert. And so we're in the grocery store and we're shopping, we're picking up everything. And I told Dominic, okay, now let's go where they have the Yorkshire puddings. Take me to where they have the Yorkshire puddings. And he's like, okay. So we go to the frozen food section, and there's, this bag of Aunt Bessie's
Aunt
brand,
Bessie, mate.
What just looks like, I don't know, some sort of like weird. Not like
I vaguely
yellow,
remember you. I vaguely remember you going, "Oh, what?"
Like a donut
What's all
or
this about?
onion ring combination kind of thing. I don't know. And I was just like, "What? This is what a Yorkshire pudding is?" And he was like, "Yeah, this is what." And I was like, "It's not a dessert. This doesn't look like a dessert. What is this?" And he's just like, "No, it's not a dessert." He goes, you just you have it with gravy, or you have it on the side
of your Sunday roast."
I was just like, oh no!
So why do they call it a pudding?
Yeah, God. To this day, I still don't know why they call it a pudding, though. I don't think anyone knows.
Because I think it's kind of like it's a treat. I think you could have it as a pudding. You can have it with jam or cream.
Oh, who has it like that?
Nobody has it like that now, because it's so good, sopped up in the gravy with the meat and everything.
Yeah. And if you've never had a Yorkshire pudding,
it's light and airy, and it's just the best.
It's basically made out of like the same kind of mix that you make pancakes out of.
Yeah.
only you don't put any like vanilla or. Do you put sugar in pancake mix? You don't really.
No.
You don't put anything sweet in it, and you don't eat it with anything sweet once it's made.
No.
So it's nothing to
flour,
do
eggs,
with
and
what
milk.
Americans think of as pudding.
That's all it is.
But it is still delicious, and I definitely do recommend it. Is it the best British food? I don't know.
I mean, I could eat a plateful. I could eat just for
You
dinner.
could eat it for...
What I would do if I could is bake about 24 of them.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure you have done this, actually.
Yeah. And just make a thing of gravy and just eat it like that, you know. They are the best.
A little pot of gravy in Yorkshire puddings for dinner.
And they're simple to make as well, which is, you know.
And they make them, as I just said, and they make them in the frozen food section. So you really, they're not that much effort to make from scratch.
No.
But then in Britain, you can actually get them already made and just put them
you
in the
You can
oven.
make mini ones, like in the little muffin cups.
Mm-hmm.
In the muffin trays, or you can make a huge one and people can tear it
if you're making them from scratch. Yeah.
And I mean, that's another, you know, we're going on to our list from people now, you know, from
our responses.
Yeah. Toad in the Hole was another one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically someone thought, oh, let's put sausage in with it, you know.
Yeah, to make it a little bit more of a complete meal, I guess. Yeah,
sausage, you know.
Mm.
And they bake that into the Yorkshire pudding base. And we tried it once, didn't we? It was pretty good.
It came out pretty good. I seem to remember people on social media were like, fail.
It was a bit of a fail.
I think it looked okay.
I think it was because of the type of sausage we use, because you don't have Cumberland sausage and
yeah, that's what I was going to
English
say.
sausages over here.
Toad in a Hole for me is not as good as Yorkshire puddings because I don't like English sausages.
I don't like English sausages.
I don't know. I'm going to have to try them again. It's been a few years now. I will give them another shot, but I do not remember enjoying them very much. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one on our list, because that was the first one, Sunday roast, especially Yorkshire pudding, someone said.
And Sunday roast, it's so difficult for me to even think of it as a British thing because it exists over here. I mean, we call it home style food. We just call it a roast. We just have a roast.
Yeah, but it's not the same
roast
sort of
beef,
thing.
Potatoes, carrots. You know, we would probably have rolls. We wouldn't have Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah. There you go.
And gravy, you know, that's a Sunday dinner. That's a typical Sunday dinner.
Because, I mean, roast potatoes over here are done quite differently.
Yeah.
I mean...
They're literally just chopped up and rubbed in oil and roasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in Britain, they parboil the potatoes first. Mm-hmm. Then they smash it around a little bit of, like, batter to kind of, like, get it up. And then they put them in the oven to kind of, like, crispen, you know, and cook fully.
It's not batter, is it?
It's like a oil or something, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that the inside is very fluffy and soft like a mashed potato, and the outside is crispy.
Yeah.
And I did them one year, and I got them, I think it was for Christmas dinner, and I got them perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone liked them.
My brother was like, this is the only way that roast potatoes should ever be made, yeah.
And it was, you know, and I need to do it again. Because, I mean, you know...
They're a bit more work than...
They're a bit more work, but,
the way we do roast potatoes.
The reward is in the...
bit more work, bit more fattening, bit more, you know...
Bit more reward. But yeah, a Sunday roast, you can have, like, beef or pork or chicken.
Yeah.
You have it in gravy. You have, like, carrots on the side, swede, turnip, parsnips.
Yeah.
Parsnips is something I've never seen over here.
Or swede, no.
Swede, yeah, because there's like a swede turnip mix you can get now.
No.
I think they do that frozen as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think you've had it. Because we went out for lunch. We went out for a pub lunch one day, me and Eric, and it was basically a Sunday roast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And carrot and a Yorkshire pudding and all that, you know. The next one is you can't beat a full English breakfast. Someone said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat a full English breakfast. I'm not too much of a fan because the full English is fried eggs, sunny side up, sausages, bacon, baked beans, grilled tomato, well, fried tomato, fried bread. I'm missing so much here. Mushrooms, fried mushrooms.
Black pudding.
Black pudding.
You can have bubble and squeak.
Bubble and squeak, which is cabbage.
Don't they do roast potatoes again?
No. Some people do chips with it, though.
Yeah.
I've seen people do.
I mean, there's different variations, isn't there? So
there's a lot of different variations, but the classics are bacon, eggs, and sausage.
Beans.
And beans.
Yeah.
That is like the core members of the thing. But I don't like eggs, so I just have like bacon and sausage.
It's very good, very tasty, but again, it's like a heart attack on a plate.
It's a heart attack on a plate.
And it's a lot of work. There's a lot of elements to it, so it's just kind of like, Jesus, why do I, am I gonna not eat again for the rest of the day or what?
Oh no. Because I mean, you have this around, like, it's like what they call a builder's breakfast, and it's like a massive, it's like a very stodgy.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, my favorite things are the mushrooms and the tomatoes. The fried bread I do love too.
Fried bread. Oh, I haven't had fried bread in a long time.
We tried to make it here one day, like
it's simple
with American ingredients, but
did we do fried bread?
I think so. Yeah,
because I mean, it's just basically frying a piece of bread in
butter.
Yeah. Or oil even.
I can't imagine someone eating that for breakfast every single day. I mean, surely.
Oh, I've seen people do it.
Oh my gosh.
They're dead now, but I've seen people do it.
Yeah.
I'd eat that every day, but I'd be dead.
I think the first and only time I've ever had it, like, from a restaurant, though, and I don't know if I should probably admit this in the podcast.
Yes, go ahead and admit it.
Was in Spain.
Viva España.
I never ever had it in Britain. So
no, we never went out for it because I just
because you're not huge on it.
I'm not huge on it because of the fried eggs.
No, I didn't have fried egg. Did I? Did I tell them scrambled or did I just have it fried? I do not eat fried egg.
Yeah, I mean you can have it scrambled, I guess, but fried eggs is where they have it.
I think maybe I'll let your dad have the egg. Actually, I don't know.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't have it so much. I usually have like a bacon roll for breakfast. That's as near as or a sausage bap.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, anyway.
Well, it's English breakfast, yeah. Fish and chips is the best British food by far, someone said.
It's so funny because these are all kind of the responses that you
I
expect.
I think these have been Americans mostly.
I was really I don't want to say disappointed with the responses because people's favorite stuff is their favorite stuff, but I was hoping there might be something a bit more like exciting, something more like that I hadn't thought of, that I could go, oh yeah, that is really good. But I guess, the classics are the classics and that's it,
The classics are the classics and they will never be anything but classic.
Yeah. I mean, because if you look up a list, best British foods or best English foods or whatever.
You're going to get Sunday roast.
You're going to get all this stuff, aren't you?
You're going to get fish and chips.
Full English breakfast, fish and chips.
Fish and chips, yeah. I mean, again, I went off fish for a long time. Because, for whatever reason, because I was eating it all the time. Because, it's usually something you have on a Friday night. It's like that kind of like easy chippy tea is what they call it in Britain now. Because you go down the chippy, and you don't even have to get fish and chips. You can get battered sausage and chips.
Yeah.
And that was another response somewhere. Battered sausage, chippy tea is like chippy tea. Battered sausage chips, risole and chips, Scotch egg and chips.
Yeah.
Lasagna and chips.
Yeah.
I mean, not
if
deep fried.
If you're in Wales.
If you're in Wales. But I mean, no. I mean, you could have...
Chinese and chips,
curry and chips, gravy and chips.
I mean, yours was just chips most of the time.
Roast
you didn't really get anything on the side.
I didn't really get anything on the side because I just love chips. And, I was like, just give me a large portion of chips, mate.
I love fish.
I mean, I do love the battered fish as well.
But let me tell you guys, if you've never had fish and chips in Britain, and you do like fish and chips, get a small. Always. Or even then, you might need to share with someone, depending on how hungry you are. The pieces of fish that they serve you in Britain are huge.
They're a huge cut of cod. It's usually cod or haddock.
They are absolutely huge.
And
I was quite hungry one night.
And if you get, because, I remember.
I was quite hungry one night when we were in Liverpool, and we went in a chippy, and I ordered a large fish and chips. Not realizing at the time that Dominic wasn't really big on fish and didn't really.
And I think I even said to you, are you sure you want a large?
Well, because I thought you'll eat, whatever I don't want to eat.
And I didn't.
And it came out, and I mean, if you put your hands together end to end, it was probably still longer than that, even if you have big hands.
And it was wide as well. It's a big wide, cod.
I was just like, who is going to... And I hate wasting... Battered. I hate wasting food, you guys.
And there was so many chips as well. It was like, oh.
Yes, it was very much a lot, yeah. The next one on the list is...
Someone's a curry!
Curry, yeah.
I mean, people go, oh, curry isn't British.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, it's regularly eaten in Britain.
Well, I think the curry that you get in Britain is like the Chinese food you get in America. It's not the same as you would get in China, or it's not the same in Indian food that you would get in India, right? So it's tailored to a British
audience,
audience palate,
Yeah,
and it's delicious. It is.
The classic curry experience when you're going out is you go out and you get a start and you get like a thing of poppadoms, which is kind of like chips and salsa, poppadoms and dip.
Yeah.
And poppadoms and stuff like that, I think that's like Thai cuisine.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Malaysian cuisine. And they've kind of all melded it together.
It's a bit of a fusion.
Thai food is on the rise in Britain too. Thai curry. Anything with curry. Curry, is very big in Britain. Because it's like it's a temperate climate. It's very cold there in the winter.
Yeah. So
people want stodgy, saucy food, that's hot.
Hot, yeah.
And, curry, easily, that's perfect, Yeah. And it's a very good food, It's like with onion bhajis and, naan. And, rice and, of course, the chips.
Yeah.
And chicken tikka masala.
Yeah.
That's the classic.
That's
the
my
classic.
Favorite. The next one on the list, I guess, I take back what I said before, because I think this one was a little bit of a surprise on the list of the best food.
Yeah. I think this was an American who sent this one in too.
And that's haggis.
Haggis.
On the list of the best British food. Yeah, that was definitely a surprise. Aye. Yeah. And that's one, unfortunately, that I still haven't tried yet, too. And I'm really I'm really eager to get back over to Britain to try it, because you got
to try it in Scotland with the neats and tatties.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to like it. I mean, I just do, I think I can put out of my head what it is.
Get you a wee portion of haggis. Haggis with a bit of
I eat hot dogs here. It can't be that much different,
No, I think it's it's like people go, oh, it's a sheep's stomach and it's like, offal and stuff, but it's not.
I think they cut the stomach. I think they cut the stomach open to serve it. Like, they don't serve it in the stomach, I don't think.
They cut the stomach. No, yeah, they cut it open, and
it's
like minced meat.
Yeah.
And it's seasoned. With oats. And
everything I've heard, tastes like sausage.
Tastes like sausage, yeah.
So as long as it tastes better than English sausage, I'll like it. The same person also said hand-raised meat pie. I don't know what that means. Meat pie. What does hand-raised mean?
Handmade, I guess.
Hand-raised. Like the crust?
The crust, like like handmade. Yeah, like homemade.
Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody said the sausage roll, you can't beat that homemade. You know, you might get it in the shop, but it'll be lackluster. You know, it'll be like off a production line. But a handmade sausage roll, it's lovingly made, and you can't beat it.
I mean, is a sausage roll a meat pie? The meat pies I think of like more like pie. A Cornish pasty or a pork pie or a...
Funnily enough, no one said Cornish pasty on there.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't, and I think that definitely does make the list pretty often. I've never had a Cornish pasty. I've never had any sort of
pork pie.
Meat pie. I've never had a meat pie. I mean,
you've had like a steak bake.
Is that considered a pie? Though?
I mean, not really, not like in the sense of.
And
like,
I've had a sausage roll,
but pie.
Sausage
roll. Yeah,
that's not considered a pie either, though. I wouldn't think.
But it's, you know, you get sausage rolls.
A pie, I'm thinking it's shaped like a pie, and I just hold it with my hand and
we'll get you again. You know, when we go to Scotland to get the haggis, we'll go to Cornwall and get you a Cornish pasty.
Oh, because they're so close to each other.
Yes, we'll go up
just
and
pop
down.
over to Cornwall while we're there. Yeah, while we're in Scotland,
we'll do the tour of Britain, and you know we can. See everything.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely need to do all of that. Next up on the list,
bangers and mash. It's sausage, it's mashed potato, it's dark onion gravy. What's not to like?
The bangers.
Well, I think that might have been your first meal in Liverpool.
I think so.
We went to the pub and you said, "Oh, I'll have bangers and mash."
Because I was looking at the menu and I was like, okay, what do I associate with Britain? What, you know, I'm not going to get a burger or something like that. Like, okay, bangers and mash is on there. Okay, that's what I'll do.
And they served it with gravy.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. And I thought, oh, it looks really good. It looks really nice. But yeah, you didn't like it so much. No.
I don't know what's wrong, but I just cannot get into English sausage. I just can't. I don't know. I much prefer Polish sausage or even like a bratwurst. I don't know. Maybe I've just had the wrong English sausages, but
maybe.
But yeah, the mash was okay, and the gravy, from what I can remember, I remember I ate a little bit of the bangers, and I was just like, yeah, you can have the rest of these if you want them. I don't.
I can't remember.
And there were like 3 of them, and they were ginormous.
They were big, yeah.
Yeah.
They were the jumbo sausages, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone else said black pudding, like that's the best British food ever. Black pudding.
That's interesting.
I before I even knew what black pudding was, I used to eat it. You know, because my mother would make it. You know, because she'd make. You know, when we had the B&B, she'd make fried breakfasts for all the people. You know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there'd be black pudding left over, and she'd give some to me. Oh, try some of that, and I just go, it just tastes burnt. I like burnt stuff.
Yeah.
You know, until now, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm one of those people who likes, I don't mind if it's a bit burnt. It gives it a bit of flavour, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I know, someone goes, you know what black pudding is, don't you? It's pig's blood. And I was like, no, it isn't. I was like, yeah, it is. It's pig's blood congealed and burnt. And I was like, is it? It just tastes like...
And did it put you off of it?
I don't know. I get it maybe, but because I just never ate. I just don't seek it out. It's not like, whoa, my favourite. You know?
Again, the only time I've ever eaten this was in Spain. So not exactly British, but it was black pudding nonetheless. From what I can remember, it tasted like sausage and slightly better sausage than English sausages.
She's really hating on the English sausage.
They served black pudding and white pudding.
Which is the same thing, really. I mean, the white pudding was... black pudding was better.
They both tasted like sausage to me. They were fine, they were fine, yeah. I don't know. They don't taste like blood. You know, people think, does it have like a very irony kind of like congealed blood taste? And it's just like, no, it doesn't taste anything like blood.
And the last one is Cadbury. That's the best British food. Cadbury, yes. Just eat all the Cadbury.
Just Cadbury. Oh, okay.
Cadbury chocolate.
I like that, yeah.
Chocolate.
I agree. I concur.
And I think that finishes us off quite nicely, actually.
Yeah, that was a pretty good list. Yeah, that
pretty good list. Yeah,
that ended up being a pretty well-rounded list. I think. With actually a couple surprises. I mean, black pudding, you don't normally see that on the best foods list, I don't think.
No, I think that's probably going to turn up on our worst foods.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
But yeah, so tune in next time for the worst foods.
Oh, yeah.
We asked our followers on social media for the worst foods also, so you'll have to tune in and find out what they think is, is the worst and whether we agree, whether you agree. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. As always, we appreciate your support, and we will talk to you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.